So we'll start getting into the number functions. So I was saying that you can start manipulating your numbers by using the number functions, where the majority of the number functions are absolutely straightforward by nature. Especially the scientific functions and your mathematical functions are very straightforward. So you don't need to by heart all the number functions. There are certain functions where logically you need to understand certain cases. So those functions where logically definitely we'll just keep concentration on numbers. We have two functions, you have together understand them. One is the round function, the next is your select truncate function. Okay? So these are two functions, together you should start understanding them. Now whenever you are dealing with numbers, rounding of numbers and truncating of numbers is a very common activity. So what I mean to say is, you just watch here. You suppose you are having a number line. And I am just having this with this kind of number. You just watch there. What did I kept one number below 5 and another number above 5. And that combination I have been keeping it. Now suppose like I am just trying to make this number get corrected to 3 decimal places. Now whenever I am correcting this number to 3 decimal places, my intention is remove the 4th decimal position. So we are just taking the number from here. But since 9 is in the concept of 5 or more than 5 concept. Now whenever you are having 5 or more than 5, mathematics will say that add 1 and make it 5 there. Because you need to adjust the position compulsorily. So when you are going to this kind of correction, whenever you are going to this kind of correction, we call it as rounding of the number. We call this concept as what? Rounding of the number. In practicality, how we will submit the function? Now we will submit the function as round off the original number whatever you are having with you. You want to correct this number up to 3 decimal places. So you just say something like this, and the result is what you are seeing there. So whenever you are going for round function, it has the ability of understanding your position of the values. If the value is 5 or more than 5, it automatically adds 1 to the previous position, then starts working on it. Now here one thing I just want to ask you. The total precision of this number is how much? No?
448.
I think there is a trouble with you. What is the precision of that particular number? See, for any question only one answer will be there, not multiple answers. So confirm and tell me what's the answer. 8. For all the people are saying 4 or anything more than that, shame. Okay? Because that was one point I was discussing very seriously when I was discussing the number function, number data type. So the precision is absolutely 8 and the scale is going with what? 4. Now when we start saying round off 3 places, we said like 3 decimal places, that's what we said. Whenever we said correct this number to 3 decimal places, it is corrected to 3 decimal places by adjusting this value with what? No? 1 added with 4. There is nothing but 5. But always in the internal state, its representation is with the 0 here. 0 to the right side of the decimal, do we have any value for that? No. The reason oracle is not showing it. So the point what you should always understand is, whatever precision you have given for the number, that precision will be maintained. That precision will be maintained. But if the value is, if the position of the place is having any value, it shows that. If the position of the value is not having any kind of value identification, then eliminate it. So 0 to the right side of the decimals has no value. Therefore, oracle is not showing that. Try to understand. So, rounding is a simple correction of the number by the number of decimal positions or number of place values, whatever we need. The same number, I am working once again, let us say, and I am saying, go for the correction of the number for 3 places, once again 3 decimal places. Here it is 5 or more than 5 concept, yes or no? But if suppose like instead of correcting that to 5, I just said 4. Now this concept is called as truncating. So this kind of concept is called as truncating of the number. So that's a fundamental function we have to truncate any particular number. Be very clear about that. So when you are using the truncate function, you are just saying that correct the number of places but don't correct the value. Are you catching the point now? We are just saying correct the number of places but don't correct the value. Here also, the overall precision will be 8 only, with the 0 placed in the particular place, but 0 to the right side has no meaning, therefore it is not showing. So, if you just take the same number and if you are working with the select statement, you will start understanding through the process. Just for select, this is the original number. Then I am calling my round off this number, comma 3. Then we are going with truncate off. We are just going with 3 once again. There is nothing but truncate from dual. So you just watch when your round is implemented, the corresponding place value is adjusted. But technologically, when truncate is done, places are adjusted, not place values. Now, in practicality, if you are concentrating, the most important part I want to remember is internally in this position 0 is there. But it is not showing that 0 to you because 0 has no meaning to the right side of the decimal. So the reason that zeros are not shown to you, are you catching the point now? So internally it's managing the particular piece of the 0, please keep that in your mind. Now you just watch carefully. If suppose say like I am calling this and I am once again trying to say correct up to 2 decimal places. When I say 2 decimal places, you have eliminated this part now. So this is less than 5. Therefore you watch round and truncate will look same. So when round and truncate are looking same, this is how certain times you find people saying that round and truncate are same. Did you test the function properly? If you did not test the function properly, then you will never understand what the function is doing. The same way you just watch here, we are saying correct this to the place value of 1. So automatically you can just watch, round is going with correction with 4 and truncate is returning as it is. So final thing what you should understand is, truncate whenever it is applied on the function, it always returns you the place by its value as it is without correcting it. But round is not like that. Round has common sense of it is 5 or more than 5 or less than 5. According to that it will be working very effectively through the process. Now here we can even say 0. When I say 0, I am saying that please remove the total decimal points. Remove the total decimal points and give me only the real parts. Now instead of giving that 0 there, we can even eliminate this particular correction states. Even when you remove that, default it's going to remove the decimal places. Not only that, here we can even keep -1. So when we are saying -1, what happens is, it starts correcting the place up to units. Now one very important point I want to tell me, right side 0 has a value here or doesn't have a value here? It has a value. That's the only reason, if you don't remember the positional stage, you will get confused. The majority of the times you find students saying that, so I am not understanding how 0 is coming. Removing the place means filling that with 0. Remember that. Now this side of the decimal, 0 has no meaning to the right side. Left side 0 is having meaning, but right side 0 has no meaning, therefore it was not showing you. But when you come to the real part, 0 on the right side has meaning. 0 on the left side has no meaning. Therefore, units place was eliminated and filled with what? 0. Now this is 5 or more than 5, yes or no? Therefore, 10th place was adjusted to 2. Truncate is going as it is. Truncate is going as it is. Now in the same constraint, you just watch you're saying -2. When I'm saying -2, what I'm saying now? correct the tens place. Now you cannot correct the tens place without correcting the units place. So how many zeros are we build now? 2 zeros. And here this is less than 5. So automatically it should be returned with what now? 6 as it is. So understand these corrections very carefully. Function is not difficult. When you don't put your effort to understand the function by putting it in a proper way, it looks difficult. So when you pick up a function, you cannot just take the definition of the function and leave it. Be very clear. With the different combinations, you should establish yourself and try to understand. Now, round and truncate, they are definitely used for they are definitely functions used for correcting the numbers by place values. We are not denying that. But at the same time, please keep one more point clear. Round and truncate has the ability for correcting to the real part as well as the decimal part. Both the sides it can work. But there are certain cases where giving a floating point value, I want to return only an integer. Means if I give any floating point number to my particular system, it should give me only the integer out of it. Means total decimal positions are to be removed and always it should return me an integer. So whenever you are expecting that a floating point value should be directly corrected to an integer, then you have two functions. One is called as seal function. One function is called as seal. Now whenever you are working with the seal function will take any floating point value and returns the nearest highest integer for that. I am making the point very clear. Returns the nearest highest integer to that. Means its job is always to return one integer. Be very clear about it. Now we have another function counterpart for this, that is nothing but float. Now whenever you are dealing with float, it always accepts a floating point number and returns the lowest nearest integer. The final goal of these two functions is to return only integers. Now seal returns higher side and float returns the lower side. That's the difference. Be very, very clear on these particular compositions. Now just watch carefully. The same number we will take and we'll start working. So I am saying seal. It doesn't have any arguments. And this is your float. Does not contain any arguments. And then you are just going down with the process. You watch now. For 2617 point whatever you have, the highest nearest integer is what? 18. For this number, the lowest nearest integer is what? 2617. When I want to take one decimal point value and I want to return exclusively integers out of that, this functions will help me. Now here the students can say, so if I use round and truncate also the same thing will happen. No. In round and truncate you have to remove the total decimal points. That's first thing. Second, if the decimal point what you are removing at this level is 5 or more than 5, then only it goes to the next nearest number. Else it is always to the same number. But here we are not interested in that now. Any floating point, highest integer, nearest highest integer, seal. Now whether the position is less than 5 or greater than 5, we don't care about that. You want lowest nearest, then you should go for, the criterion composition of the float. Now, you should know where exactly you should use these particular functions as far as the requirement is concerned. Do we have any requirement of these functions in real time? These functions are very, very important when you are working in account management systems, financial management systems, banking management systems. Anywhere you have financial management that are done, definitely these functions are very important. You just go and check in your retail outlet stores, whenever the bills are prepared, you watch. Certain retail outlet stores, they will pick up your bill to the nearest integer. There are certain retail outlet stores that will give you the highest nearest to the bill, and certain retail outlet stores will give you lowest nearest. Now it depends. See, criteria are which one they will follow. It all depends on customer relationship, what they want to manage. If you take a banking sector, let us say, when the bank is taking the money from you, correction to the highest. When the bank is giving the money to you, correction to the lowest will be done. So that's the strategy, that's all. You cannot go and ask the bank why you are doing like this. So it all depends on the institution on which you are applying these functions, and without number corrections, no real-time implementation can exist. Be very clear about that. The next functions are straightforward. Do we have division operator in Oracle? Do we have operator for dividing the numbers? Your batch needs something else, I hope so. Now, chemical reactions will change definitely. You people are looking like wonderful catalysts for making the reaction to change faster. At least one head should work in the class, okay? Today after the class, conduct a meeting and decide which head will work. And that head has to work definitely. Once my brain comes to one conclusion that I am having a set of students who are not technically interested in learning and remembering the course, my total methodology of training the course will change. You will never know that. Alright? No two batches I conduct are same. First understand this. I told you in my starting classes, I should feel motivated that I should share my experience with you. So, you give me wrong answer, no problem, but you have to give an answer. That's very important. You don't open your mouths, the chemical reactions will change. That's the problem. You have to open the mouth. If you don't open your mouth in the classroom, how you will get your jobs in the interview room? Start learning that first. From morning till evening, with all the useless people in the world, all the useless things in the world, we will use that mouth only, no? Why you don't do 1 hour of useful thing in this class? After this class is complete, one useless fellow will be there in your life now. The moment he comes in front of you, the mouth will start opening continuously, and all the useless things in the world, what we don't like, also we will speak. Oh God, what a kind of rotten, rubbish dustbin we have with us. I am giving you an opportunity to clean that dustbin for some time, man. Take that opportunity. At least let your brain feel that, oh God, 1 hour, ठीक से काम कर सकता हूँ. Start now, okay? You should open your mouth voluntarily, else I will make your mouth forcibly. If I make your mouth to open forcibly, then it looks very different in relationship. I don't like mummies sitting in my class, okay? Mummies are suitable for pyramids. So I don't think there is a pyramid anywhere. Flat surface on your head. Stop now. Do we have a division operator in Oracle? No. Why I should not kill you people, tell me? Give me one simple reason why you people are not eligible to be shot immediately. Blank point. Don't forget when you're all on 3rd floor, okay? Very risky. One push down, garland and candle will be there. Shame, shame. Let me see how many shames you'll take from home. I'll count one word. Division operator is not there. Forward slash is what, man? Shall I take you to my previous classes? Don't let me do that. This shows that your brain is getting melted before the year is ending. What you'll do in 2018, man? At least last few days, let us feel that we have been professionals in our life. At least last few days. Even though what has happened 360 days, let us not worry. Start now. We have a division operator which can always divide. That's forward slash, I hope so. Do we have a modulus operator? You will not say answers, I know. When people are questioned continuously, it's better to fight. बात करने से इसको कुछ ठीक नहीं लगता है. बात करने से भी ठीक नहीं लगता है, बात नहीं करने से भी लगेगा, ठीक है, बात करना है बस. Do we have modulus operator? Yes. I'll catch. Wait. The story has started just now. We don't have a modulus operator. Books, okay. Open your books. Not open your brain. If I start opening the brain, you'll feel like if आदमी suddenly पागल बन गया. That's the kind of feeling you get now. So let us be very cordial with one another, okay? Let us not become reactive and proactive. So we don't have modulus operator. So when you don't have an operator, you have a function. So modulus is a function that helps you to substitute the limitation what you have, or you have the deficiency with operator. So whenever you are dividing, division is the only kind of mathematical operation where two results will come. One we have the remainder, the other we have the quotient. So when I want to see the quotient, I have my operator called as division. When I want to see the remainder, I don't have an operator. That operator, since it is not there, it is absolutely provided by a function. So when you are using the modulus function will take two parameters and then it technically starts returning the remainder of that particular division. So you can just watch here. We are saying select 125 divided by 5 and we are saying quotient. And then I am just calling modulus of 125 comma 5 and this is remainder from D1. So 125 divided by 5 is 25 as a quotient and this modulus is automatically gone to 0. So you can just call down with any of the fundamental mechanisms of the figures whatever you are trying to have. It always returns to the rule what you are having there, giving you very accurately to the decimals. I already said 38 digits of decimal accuracy is followed. So very, very highly accurate oriented constructs are there when you are dealing with the mathematics. Now here you should always understand division by 0 is an error. Okay, it automatically gives you 1476 divisor is equal to 0. But the same thing when you are representing it with a construct of modulus. Now here also we are going to division by 0 only. But when functions are used, functions can be more intelligent than the operators. Therefore, it never gives you any error, but it returns the numerator as is. So within the function, division by 0, error will not come. Be very, very clear about that. These are certain things what your interviewer will be concentrating. Then we have a power function. We don't have an operator that can calculate the power of a number. So we have, watch carefully, select power of 25 comma 3 and we are just trying to say power from D1. So 25 to the power of 3. You are just going with the construct of 25 to the power of minus 3. You are going with the composition of minus 25 to the power of 3. You are going with minus 25 to the power of minus 3. You go with any kind of combination of the numbers, it will work. Then you are just going with the power of 25.35 to the power of, we are saying 3. You are just going with 25 to the power of 3.45. It works. You are going with 25 to the power of 25.35 to the power of 3.45. So any kind of decimal constructs or anything it works. But here there is only one rule you have to always remember. The rule what you have to remember is, if m is negative, if the base is negative, your power should always be an integer, it cannot be a float. It means what? You just watch here, I am saying this is a negative number. Now here I am giving this value, it works. But the moment I say this is 3.34, it fails. So whenever your base is a negative number, if the power is given in floating point value, it fails. Don't think that this is a mathematical error. It's according to mathematics, you cannot have the power of a number with a base as negative with the power as a decimal point. It takes you to complex numbers. So whenever Oracle is giving any error means, you should understand it is technically going on the process and beyond the process of the mathematical rules. Then Oracle automatically stops it. So don't think that this is an error from Oracle. This is thrown as an error to you because to the rule of mathematics this is not acceptable. Try to understand that. So we can calculate the powers very quickly. The same way you have square root function. Now I think it will be kidding if I start teaching you square roots at this particular level. So we are just going with square root. We are saying 625. And then we are just going with from dual. So you can have square roots for even decimal points. But you cannot have square root for negative numbers. Rules are followed as it is to the fundamentals of mathematics. So, what your fundamental mathematics will follow, following to that rule only everything will be working. You have another function called as absolute. Now, for fundamental beginners, we have a wrong notion about absolute, that absolute is a function that converts the positive numbers into negative numbers, negatives into positives. Actually, absolute is not doing any conversion of any particular number from positive to negative or negative to positive. There is one concept in mathematical representation called as absolute value. Absolute value means whenever a mathematical operation is conducted, we are interested in the value of the expression, but we are not interested in the sign of the expression. So, all such kind of situations where you are always interested in the value of the expression but not the sign of the expression, we should call absolute function. Normally, positive numbers are never represented by any sign. The reason people have a wrong notion that negative numbers are converted into positive when absolute is used, because the negative sign is not seen. But actually, that's not the way. Absolute is always concentrating on what? Returning the value without the sign. So whatever kind of value it is, positive or negative, that doesn't matter. So you can check me. So our focus is on what? Value of the expression. So you can just watch here. We are saying select ename, comma. We are saying sal, comma, commission. I am saying sal minus commission. Now this is some difference we are calculating from PMP, and we are saying where commission is not null. So once we execute this, you can just watch here. This case, if you just watch, we got the result as a negative number because salary is less than the commission. But now my requirement is saying that return me absolute difference of the salary and commission. So whenever you say absolute difference of the salary and commission, we call the absolute function there. Because we are not interested in the sign of the number. So here generally what students think, especially the beginners will think that, in this particular case generally the beginners will think that positive numbers are returned as positive numbers, negative number was converted into positive number. Now this is happening just because you are seeing minus sign here. That's the reason your brain is just thinking like that, and not only that, in academics also they say the same thing. But actually in academics what they say is only to make us understand, but in practicality we are not converting any sign here. We are just considering the value but not the sign. Try to understand that. So I want absolute of any particular operation that I am conducting. Then we will go with the concept of what? Absolute function. So try to understand that. The same way, certain times I need a sign but I don't need the value. So certain operations when I am conducting, my concentration is only on the sign of the operation but not the value of the operation. I want to know whether it's positive or negative or it's neither positive nor negative, that's all. Then I call sign function. Now whenever you deal with sign function, don't think the sign function is returning the value with the sign of that number. No, it will return the sign in a symbolic state. If the value is a negative number, -1 will be returned. If the value is 0, means neither positive nor negative, 0 will be returned. The value is a positive number, +1 will be returned to you. So it doesn't return the number here, it returns the sign. Sign is returned in a numerical comparison, -1, 0 and 1. Remember that. So your interviewer will ask you one simple question, how I can know whether a particular number is a positive or negative number? He says no. Test a number for positive or negative. Students get highly confused. Just tell him simply, sir, if I use sign function, it comes from that. So generally programmers, what they do is they think that I will write a great program for this. No. You just pass the particular piece of the number into the function, the return value is what? The return value is minus, it's a negative number. The return value is +1, it's basically nothing but a positive number. That's a very quick answer you should give. So, just watch here, the same thing. I am just trying to call my difference first. And you have already seen that this is your negative number and the remaining are positive. Now I am just calling this with the sign. So the moment I set sign, you just watch, is returning the criteria and composition of symbolic state. So generally we'll ask one small question to check whether you can remember these functions or not. The only thing what we'll ask is, get the details of all the employees whose salaries are less than commission. So we get one answer definitely from the student, salary less than commission. Nobody is denying that it is wrong. It's absolutely correct. Nobody can say that it's wrong. But another student is coming and he is just trying to use sign of salary minus commission is equal to -1. So whenever you are trying to go with the construct of this, generally even though this is not a great work, but this person is trying to give information to the interviewer that I am more comfortable with functions. See, he need not ask you, interviewer should not ask you, do you know this? When a question comes, what is the best way if I attempt this question, my impression automatically increases. There is a simple calculation that you should have from your side. So nobody should tell you, please answer the question in a particular way. So these are all the major logical constructs behind number functions. Now we have dates now. I told you dates is a very wonderful composition in Oracle, but everything in dates, what you may have as your doubts, I will clarify them from here. Continuously we are working on dates with everything what Oracle provides on dates now. First thing what you should remember is, all the dates in Oracle are an internal numerical format. All dates in Oracle are numbers, and these numbers are called as special kind of numbers, that is Julian numbers. Oracle date is a very wonderful range. It starts from January 1st, 4712 BC, and it goes up to December 31st, 9999 AD. There is a range of the dates with respect to Oracle. Everything on the calendar is pre-calculated. You cannot pull the construct of the dates in Oracle, and the default management of the date is in this format. Until your admin is not changing that particular piece of the format. And your date always starts from seconds and goes up to century. Your total range of the date starts from seconds to century. Be very, very clear about that. Now, whenever I want the current date and time running on the server, at any point of time, I want the current date and time running on my server, I can always say select the current date is. We are saying system. Then I am saying today from 0. So actually behind this date, time is also there. But until you do not put a request, time is not shown to you. So I want to see the time. We will check. Let us not worry. But believe one thing, whenever you request a date, along with the date, time comes. But time is not shown to you until you do not put a special request for that. Now how exactly we can see the time? We will check with specific functions that are very practically waiting for us. So, date is internally one number we said. When your date is internally one number, then definitely I think we can do some date mathematics on that now. Because calendar mathematics are always there. So since all dates are internal format with numbers, mathematical transactions are very common, but not beyond the calendar mathematics. So you can just watch here. I am just calling my select. And I am saying sysdate, that is nothing but today. Then I am saying sysdate plus 3. Then I am saying 3 days from dual. So I am simply saying that add 3 days to the current date and tell me the future date. So 3 days added to the current date is 30th December. The same way, you can not only add your dates, you can subtract. You can subtract a number from the date. So 3 days before date. Now here the only question what the beginner will have is, so whenever I am going with this, suppose I said 30 days, what happens now? Oracle has all the intelligence of changing the month and the years if the need arises. In that calendar, it can rotate with any value. The same way, I am saying minus 30 takes you automatically to the prior month. So if the number of days are changing, no issues, it will change the years also. You don't need to worry about that. Suppose say like, I am just trying to say 365 days, let us say. I am adding 365 days to the current date. So exactly from today you just watch it, went to the 365 days and saying 27 December 18. Now I am just subtracting my particular date to 365 days. So exactly going back to the years once again. So on the calendar it will rotate very perfectly, you don't need to worry about that. Now it always has the intelligence of finding the number of days between the dates. Means what? I am saying ename comma higher date. Before higher date, only for a convenience I will give you sysdate, that is nothing but today. And higher date is employees joining date. Now I am saying sysdate minus higher date. Date minus date can be done. Whenever date minus date is done, it will give you number of days. Between those two dates, what is the number of days, it will tell you. You can just watch all your employees from the day of their recruitment till today, how many days have been completed. So it's very clearly trying to go with the constructs and start giving you the process. This is number of days. So what is this then? Today is completed or not yet completed? Not yet completed. So that is fraction part of today. Are you getting me? The number of days up to yesterday plus fractional part of today. Now you don't need the fractional part. You can always try to say. You can always try to eliminate that particular decimal position by saying truncate. Now you may just ask me, sir, why you are not using round? I am not interested in giving my employees one extra day of experience. So by the rule, if you use truncate or round, that doesn't matter. But you just want these all less than 42, no issues. It is 5 or more than 5, what happens now? One day will be added. Now, in a human resource management system, I am not interested to add at least 1 day extra experience to the employees. So, the rule of the requirement, you have to know which function you have to call. Now, we are taking this particular construct and you are trying to say truncate of sysday minus higher date divided by 365. So, what it gives you? Number of years. So, even though as per your fundamental calculation and common sense this is correct, how many times you know that you will not get marks for this formula? So, why I will not get marks for this particular piece of the formula? Simple. Every year is not 365 days. So, when you work in computer sciences, how much you are giving accuracy? Now, you may have your own question. Sir, what happens if suppose say like it is just 1 day of difference? 1 day of difference is not the criterion. The rule of the computer science is for accuracy. You have to follow that. That's it. So we can start filtering. Generally, casually interview will ask you, get the details of all the employees whose experience is more than 35 years. Normally, when we ask this question, student tries this particular formula. See, by general common sense, it's correct, but every year is not 365. Therefore, I cannot accept 365 for calculating the number of years. So, be very careful in honoring the rule. That's very important. Now, in the same way, if suppose say like this is your day that is fundamentally running for today, and he wants the criteria of the date which is basically 3 months from now. So I want the next, from today I want the future date for 3 months. So what I should do now? Just date plus 90. Yes or no? Now this is where you should be very careful now. According to common sense, 90 is okay. At the same time you want 27th December, it is cutting exactly to 27th March. But this is coincidentally happening. Why? December is 31st, January is also going with the construct, then February is losing with 2 days. So it adjusted. But suppose say like, I am taking the same calendar you watch. By putting it into November, and I am calculating this. Accuracy is lost. If it is 1st November 17, 3 months should be 1st January 17. But I am losing 1 day definitely there. So 1st February 18. But I am losing 1 day, that is nothing but 30th January. So until you do not look into your calendar, you will never know that what's fundamentally happening through the process. So be careful when you are using one. So when you say 3 months, generally every student will say 90. For common sense, 3 months is 90 months. But 1 month is 30, the other is 31, the third could be 28 also, who knows. So how you can calculate 3 months as 90 always? On average we can speak as a human being, but by rule of calendar it's not exactly correct. So when you are unable to manage accuracy behind the arithmetical transactions on the dates, then functions will come into the picture. That's why date functions are very, very important. Be very clear about that. We have one function called add months function. Now what does this particular function does? This function will start adding n number of months to your day, giving you the future date. Whenever the date is changing, the month changes. If the date is going beyond December, year also changes. You don't need to worry about that, including the centuries. So you can just watch here, select sysday today, comma, add months. I am saying sysday, comma, 4. So I am saying that add how many months now? 4 months. And I am saying from dual. So from the current day, it exactly adds 4 months and gives you. Okay? Because my construct is working with the date. So this is December 27. So you can just watch. 27th April. Exactly. So when I want to go for adding of the months, I have this particular function. This function not only adds the months, it can definitely subtract the months also. If you are giving this as a negative number, it subtracts. So 27th December with 4 months before 27th August. Exactly, you can do both the jobs, be very clear. Positive or negative is what you have to apply there. Then we can even call this, you can just watch very carefully. We are saying select ename, comma, hire date. Then I am calling my admin job hire date, comma 3. So I am just trying to say that I am correcting my hire date of the employees advanced by 3 months. So all the dates are exactly advanced by 3 months. Wherever the year has to change, the year has changed automatically. Do you have any real-time requirement of this function then? Where? For all the people who are keeping experience, that side of the story should be clear to you. Remember that, okay? When you sit in the interview room, we'll ask you, do you know admin's function? Which student says that I don't know? If you learned Oracle, definitely you say yes or no. So interviewer will never keep quiet there. From there the actual story starts. Can you explain me those scenarios in your project where you have applied admin's function for implementation? For all the people giving experience, first thing is there is no experience. Then he's saying, please tell me where did you apply this function in your project? Where is project? So those students only be careful. So for freshers we don't ask like where did you apply. For people who kept experience in your resumes and you are coming in, definitely a question comes, please tell me where did you apply within your project. In such cases do you have concern. So learning function is not important for me. According to your project you have to give answers. You mention any project, we have definitely a requirement. We kept a banking project. I can calculate the maturity date of fixed deposits only through this. You have your banking project. The calculation of the EMI payments will be calculated by this. When your next EMI has to be paid, in that way you have taken 12 EMIs, let us say, then each EMI date will be calculated through this and you will get one report automatically. If you are working in any particular human resource management project, we always have this, when say like I'm sending one of my employee deputation to another company now, the deputation end date will be calculated through this only. So you're giving any kind of project as well flight management systems, let us say in your 8 flight reservations. You are already booked with a reservation and you just want to cancel or you want to postpone your reservation by another 1 month. So what is the next reservation date when your flight will be calculated through this? Especially when you are working in medical and healthcare management systems in pharmaceutical division, the expiry date of your particular drugs will be calculated on this only from the manufacturing date. The expiry date is next 6 months. In your food processing industry, the best is before date when you can use it. So best before dates are calculated to this particular piece of the functions only. You just mentioned one particular criteria where it cannot be used. You have been working for an automobile service center organization, let us say. What is the next service date of your particular automobile will be calculated through this only. So going for healthcare insurance management system, when is your next premium due date will be calculated through this. Your life insurance sectors, when is your next premium which is left for due. You give any project, we have a question. Do you have an answer as per your project or not? So, your learning the function is not important. You keep experience, you should tell where exactly you apply that particular piece of the function. So, catch the function very properly by its state of its requirement. The next function we have is months between function. Between 2 dates, I can always calculate the number of months. So you can just watch here, select, we are saying ename, comma, sysdate, today, comma, higher day. Then we are calling months between we are calling the sys day, comma, higher day. Always see that you are giving the parameters in such a way that the first parameter is the latest and the second one is the oldest. Because it's a numerical concern. If I exchange, what happens? The number of months will be negative, that's all. So here I am saying n months from EMP. Based on the date of recruitment till today, what is the total number of months each employee has completed? This month is completed or it's not yet completed? Not yet completed. So, these many number of months are completed. This is the fractional part of this month. So, the fractional part is not interested to you. So you can always say truncate. Now, you can even use the round one, but I am not interested in round because I don't want to give 1 month extra experience to my employees unnecessarily. So, if this is the number of months with which your employee recruitment has taken place, now taking this very properly, I am coming into the constraint and I am saying divided by 12, that is perfect number of years. Because any year is exactly 12 months. So that accuracy he expects from you. Remember that the reason I said just now, why number of years are not acceptable to what you have done previously. So he is asking you, get the details of all the employees who are having experience for more than 35 years. So definitely you will be getting the construct of this. You may say a previous answer and this answer is same. Now, the values are same or not is not important for us. Level of accuracy is what. That's why a student's mind concentrates on value. A good interviewer's mind will concentrate on approach. Your mind always thinks about, can I give the answer? Your interviewer's approach will check what is the approach towards that answer. So, are you giving an answer or are you giving a best approach to the answer? Depending on that, your scalability in your career will depend. See, 10 programmers are there in my team and all 10 are programmers. Once the logic is given, everybody will give the answer. But then why one person is always considered that he is feather in the cap? It's not that he has done something too critical coding. He has done with better approach. So give that quality to the industry. Give quality, take whatever you want in the form of your salary. So, it's all a game that you play with respect to your interest, what you keep with your passion in your coding. So how much about a passion you have that when I code, nobody can be a competitor for me now. That cannot come unless and until you do not keep up yourself to the rule and start working. So months between always gives you the number of months between 2 dates. Both the dates are exactly to the same day. Then automatically it gives you only integer. If there is anything other than that, fractions will come. So, I don't think there is any great composition and complication behind these particular functions. The next one you are having is next day function. Now generally next day function, majority of the times a beginner just skips and ignores it, thinking that it will give you the next day. For getting the next day, I need +1. I don't need a function for that. So a next day function is a function that can tell you the date on the next upcoming weekday. Next upcoming weekday means what? Watch carefully. I am saying select this day, that is today. Now today is which weekday? Now Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. So you watch it, I am saying next day. I am giving this particular day. And I am saying tell me what is the date on Saturday. So if today is 27th December 17, which is Wednesday, the next nearest Saturday is 30th December. So you can directly ask what is the weekday that is falling to this. You can give abbreviation, you can give full form, and you can even give the week number. According to Oracle, week starts from Sunday, ends with Saturday. Sunday is 1, Saturday is 7. That's how it will be working. So you can give numerical weekday, you can give full form of the weekday, you can give abbreviated weekday. Try to understand that little construct. So this is a very wonderful function which can tell you the nearest weekday date. So you can just ask anything. Say like I am trying to say here, sustain comma, I am just trying to say Monday. So I am asking what is the nearest Monday's date. The nearest Monday is 1st Jan. Now because the year is changing, it's changing the year also automatically. So you can just now here the only confusion the student has is today is which day? Wednesday. So if I give Wednesday, what happens now? So it will always tells you the upcoming Wednesday. No confusions here. It automatically tells you the upcoming Wednesday immediately and instantaneously the weekday is matching. So to know the date within the cycle of the weekday, I can always use this function. Any real-time requirements for this one? Any real-time requirements for this particular function? Without this particular function, we cannot schedule the appointments of the doctors and healthcare. I'll be having some specialist doctors who will visit on specific days of the week only. So how I can remember the days? Nothing. We'll select the doctor's name and we'll only try to select the day on which we'll be having Saturday to Sunday. So I will be knowing the doctor is coming from which day. Just select that, automatically date gets generated. This is the same function that is used to know the weekly scheduled trains and railway reservation system. Therefore, when you give your reservation form, you may not be knowing whether the train is on that day or not. You give the date. Once you give the date, the database will calculate whether it is falling to the same day when the train is there or not. And then automatically tells you whether the schedule is available or not. This is the same function that is used in food processing industries where you just go for certain kinds of foods. Especially you take the foods where daily eating foods will be there now. Let's say like you take a mushrooms industry. It will automatically tries to give you a date which is exactly 1 week within which you have to eat that. So the manufacturing date is there. Actually, a very wrong standard will happen in our country. He says like within 1 week you should eat. But when this was actually cut, that date he will not give. You ask a particular retail outlet guy, it is 1 week here, so can you tell me exactly what date? He will say, sir, aaj hi aaya hai. We don't have a standard, but if you go to European and Western countries, you cannot take that as within 1 week. What is the manufacturing date he should give? And then he should say within 1 week. That's very, very important. Now, strictly I have seen this is followed in our country only on only on bakery items. Sometimes it is manufactured, especially breads. You will see this kind of constraint, but not for others. This is a very, very important function to know exactly to the date within that particular week. Not only that, if you go to accounting systems, especially in certain companies, manufacturing companies, we have a rule. The rule is any product that is supplied by the supplier to my company, I have to raise the invoice and the bill. Now, if the product is supplied on Monday, let us say, many companies will give one rule. The rule is bill payment will be done only on Saturdays. So you have to supply the product today and collect the bill by Saturday. You cannot come and ask me immediately. So how to calculate the Saturday's date now? So the day when that particular purchase order was confirmed, and then the bill date will be given, the payment date will be given to the nearest Saturday that is available. So why this will be done like this? I may have certain formalities when a product is coming into my organization. There is nothing but inspections can be there. Damaged goods have to be identified, have to be separated. Then only the payments can be done. Without these, see, if Oracle has designed one function, don't underestimate it. Without analysis, how it can do this job? Don't forget, it's a very wonderfully designed and wonderfully associated company in the world. So, function is not important. If I am concluding the function and if people are keeping experience, once you practice the function, then immediately your mind should sit and concentrate. The project what I am keeping in my resume, in that project where this function can be applied. 2-3 scenarios you have to write in your papers and you have to keep it ready. You cannot think like tomorrow when I am going to interview, today I will think. Please, my sincere request, 80% of Indians have this habit. There is nothing but one day before preparations. Please don't do that. Your college is okay, industry is not okay with that. I have seen majority of the students keeping 3+ years experience. Why they fail is, he knows that he is keeping experience now. He doesn't know what is the body language and etiquette he has developed experience. You keep 10 years experience, when who is stopping you? But do you have the body language on? A 10 years or 3 years experience, professional body language is not going to be that easy, I am telling you. That's what I am saying. Every day you should stand in front of your mirror and you should question your mirror. Am I looking like a software professional? Your image will give you the answer. So, professional is a person who has a different personality with body language. First, do that. Why? Because even today, many people, when they complain IT is bad, I'll promise you, IT is the only wonderful field that can give you highest amount from career. I'm telling you. So markets are bad. Nothing. Indians are not looking suitable for IT markets. That's a fact. Throughout the world, people are enjoying IT, and we are the only people who are not enjoying. The reason is we are not prepared. We are not prepared for the demand what IT needs. So mistake is ours. Don't blame anybody. So start seriously. You can't keep yourself off the line and say, I want a wonderful career. So if a function is done, it has some importance to your projects. Everybody is giving experience. Your work starts to prosperity. So tomorrow when I am speaking with you, I will come up with my next level of the function. There is nothing but last day. So once we complete these date functions, we will complete date function in the first 15 minutes of the job, and then after that immediately we will go for conversions. There is another beautiful experience we will be having. Thank you once again, tomorrow with you.